morning. So, I was speaking with my partner about a very interesting um, paradox that occurs in the healing spiritual progression. And the paradox is this: from one perspective, we know that there is only this singular consciousness. There is only the I am. There's not you and me or we or they or in and out and all of the polar nature of things. It's There's only one of us here. So there's that. At the same time, the spiritual um, progression for almost everybody that I've ever heard of, it involves the development of healthier and healthier boundaries. And so, what's really interesting about that is like, um, for me to regard myself in a very healthy way, it means that I respect myself and I don't let people trespass on my boundaries, and I don't tolerate types of behavior or acts of aggression towards me. I keep my space, and so it's like, well, but wait a minute. If I'm keeping my space, saying this is where I am and that's where you are, and we need to keep a boundary here because it's healthy for me. And the more evolved you get, the healthier and stronger those boundaries are. How does that then relate to, because that feels like a separation, that feels like I'm pushing distance. How does that then relate to, we are actually only one? So who are you keeping a boundary from? There's only you here. Well, the image comes to mind that I feel like maybe best describes this is like, if you imagine you have, um, it seems like you're in a room just absolutely filled with clutter, you know, books and newspapers, I guess, and clothes and cabinets and all kinds of junk just all around you, everywhere. And it seems like you're in this room full of all this stuff. Well, the process of developing healthy boundaries inevitably is coincident with the process of cleaning out the mental and emotional debris from your system, and making it such that you don't allow people to uh, re-deliver this debris. So you clean up a relationship, you clean up this emotional congestion with someone, and then you say, oh, what you're trying to engage me in is not healthy for me, and I'm politely and respectfully choosing to decline to be in this codependent relationship with you, for example. Well, as you clean up that debris in your field more and more through these acts of self love, which is to hold these boundaries, stop letting people bring more junk in, you find out that there was no room. There's no room that was holding this stuff. It's the stuff is the room, in a sense. It's the stuff that creates the container, such that when that stuff is removed, beyond it is just the open, free, invisible void of awareness. And so, um, of course, when it comes to these very, let's say, ineffable topics, it's an analogy, so take that with a grain of salt. But it's not that you are separate. It's the thoughts that create the illusion of separateness that make it seem as if the boundaries are creating more space between you, when in fact the boundaries, if you consider this example, makes it less space, because now you're holding less in between yourself and what you perceive to be other, as opposed to when those blockages are gone, you realize that there's only one of us here.